Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Monday Market Coin Report, where we take a look at the most notable coins to have sold within the last week. And generally, we focus on 20th and 21st century pieces. Of course, we have a great one here for you, a really nice special brought to you by Heritage Auctions. Of course, they had their Florida Fun sale this past week. As a matter of fact, today is the last day of any sort of active bidding, but we have the skinny for you right here on this video. And in this particular segment, we're going to be focusing on some hot Lincoln cents, some pennies to really blow your mind. These are some of the best showcased through the Heritage Auction sale, and we got, let's see, 13 bangers that we're going to go ahead and talk about in this video. So without further ado, we're going to get started here in a moment, but as always, if this is your first time here, again, thank you for joining in. A few minutes of your time in between a football game segment or whatever the case may be. I appreciate your guys' time. And as always, feel free to like, share, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of perks, some great informational content about one of the most storied hobbies ever. Who doesn't like to collect money? Right? That's the idea here. So let's go ahead and jump right into some of the highlights from the Florida Fun Sale, sponsored by, or hosted by rather, Heritage Auctions. All the credit in the world for these phenomenal images I'm about to highlight here. A lot of them are top range, top flight stuff. And the first one we're going to talk about, of course, I don't talk about this coin enough because it speaks for itself. But the 1909 VDB initialed reverse Lincoln Wheat Cent, of course, is the consummate key date of the entire series. Okay, you don't need some silly variety or error to really plug into play what this one means to the hobby. But this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a PCGS Mint State 66 Plus full red CAC certified, and this one brought home, ladies and gentlemen, $18,600. That's essentially a brand new car. Yes, that's how much some of these coins can be worth. So if you have some old collection sitting around, you might want to pay attention to coins that look like this. There's really not a whole lot else that you could say about this coin. It's got a really minuscule mintage for being the key date in probably the most widely collected U.S. coin series to date. All right, so this is the one right here. Full red moniker, of course, is really difficult to find on a lot of these earlier dated coins. As I talk through them, you're going to see that some of them, you're like, whoa, really? Is that a full red coin? Kind of hard to say, but we get into certain areas, certain decades in which quality was just kind of lacking. Okay, so you're going to see that. I'm going to talk about it as we go. So the next coin that we have here is going to be a 1913 Philadelphia. Okay, it's a very common dated coin outside of uncirculated condition, but this one right here is a Butte PCGS Mint State 67 full red. All right, so this one is a breath stealer. This one, it really takes your breath away. Just an overall, just beautiful, stunning coin. And one thing you're going to notice with coins coming from the teens is you're going to have really strong, just really sharp design details. The U.S. Mint employees, took a great amount of pride in ensuring that the dies were well engraved with all of the most fantastic, just overall detail. You could see it in Lincoln's beard, and that's generally one of those spots where I like to kind of pinpoint a certain area on the coin in which you're going to see the deterioration of quality over time. Again, once we get into the 1920s and 1930s, you're going to see this drastic change. Okay, so this 1913 right here is one of the top grade coins. I mean, it's sold for over $10,000, and it's a common date. Okay, so if you're looking for one that's just a VG or a fine condition coin, you're talking about a coin that's like 50 cents to $1. Coins of this ilk rarely show up in the marketplace. This one is a stunner. Coming up next, how about a San Francisco variant of the 1913? This one is a S minted example. This is difficult. It's hard to find San Francisco minted coins. The mintages were really low. Quality was really high, but these things circulated quite well. All right, coins during the 1910s and 20s and going into the 30s, they were just being used and then used again, and then just continuously. These coins were just over circulated to a point where sometimes they're unrecognizable. However, this one is in perfect preservation as a PCGS Mint State 66 full red example. How crazy is this? It sold for $18,000. Okay, it falls just short of the 66 plus 1909 SVDB, the key date. Remember, sold $600 shy of hitting like the same target value. So this one extremely difficult. Wasn't really hoarded during its day in the higher grades, and that's why it sold for so much money. All right. So if you think that one's crazy, the next coin that we have here on the slate for you is a 1919. Out of every other single Philadelphia minted 1910s coin, the 1919 is the most common. When I buy big bags worth of Lincoln Wheat Cents, like 5,000 count bags to go through, 1919 is the most common. Okay, they actually usurp a lot of dates from the 1920s. They are just that plentiful. This one, however, is a bomb. PCGS Mint State 68 full red example, and I was happy to see this one, hit a really nice milestone. This one sold for, $10,800 when it was all said and done, and you have a really stunning coin that is going to go into a marquee collection. I have no doubt about that. All right, so the next one we have here, we're getting into the 1920s. Okay, it's the beginning. 1920D. Now let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the overall quality of the engraving from the teens into the 20s. You begin to see some slippage in quality control here. But this one, again, when we get into the 20s, the Roaring 20s and then the Great Depression, a lot of these coins were not preserved at all at the higher grades. So finding some that are even mint state brown, red brown, or even full red like this one here, it's really difficult. Okay, you probably have better odds trying to win, a lottery jackpot. That's how difficult they are. But it's worth noting that coins like this still do exist in some capacity out there in some old collection. So this one is a PCGS Mint State 66 full red, and this one sold for $18,000. We've covered nearly $75,000 worth of coins through the first 5, and it's just, oh boy, it is just mind-numbing how much money was flying around at this auction. And we're just talking the lonely, singular, solitary penny here. Okay, the Lincoln design that has been around for many years. All right. So if you think that one was wildly hot, check out this next coin that you see here. And it's going to be a 1923S. Lincoln Wheat Cent. Okay, now we're really getting into where it's extremely difficult, if not prohibitively rare, to find certain dates as a full red. Case in point with this date right here, it's a PCGS Mint State 65. It's the lowest numerical grade out of the bunch yet, and it is a full red. Now this is where it gets kind of tough. Take a look at the quality of the coin. You're going to see that this looks nothing like the 1913 that we saw earlier in this video. This was kind of like par for the course quality during the 1920s. Okay, the dies were not as maintained to the highest level during this period than it was in the teens. All right, it just wasn't. Okay, there was a certain quality gap. If that wasn't the worst part about it, okay, these coins again circulated in mass. Okay, very few of them were ever preserved at the highest level. Okay, that just didn't exist during the 20s because of the Great Depression. People needed the money to spend. So, that was kind of what was happening here. But this 65 red sold for $24,000. Okay, we're getting into a brand new car with maybe some leather, power seats. You know, you got the navigation and Apple CarPlay. I don't know. It gets really fancy. $24,000 for this coin is insane. It's bonkers. And guess what? It's worth every penny in the market. So we're getting even more deeper into Crazyville. All right, population. This one coin right here, and what we have here is a 1926D Lincoln cent. This one grades a little higher. It's a mint state 66 plus, full red. It is also CAC certified, and you know it is graded by PCGS. So this one right here sold for $22,800. Insane coin. Again, we're talking about another fantastically well-loaded, well-appointed car. You know, I keep using this analogy, but if you keep thinking every single coin, it's like I could buy a car, I could buy a car, I could pay off like 10 credit cards with this. You know, it's just this. The sky isn't quite the limit, but it just goes to show you how deep some of the pockets are of some of the most prestigious collectors of Lincoln cents. There's quite a few of them out there. This is the most widely collected denomination in U.S. coins, so it makes only perfect sense that some of these hit these kind of wild price values. All right, so we got one more 1920s coin here, and you guys are not going to believe this one. It's a 1927S PCGS Mint State 65 Plus red. All right, so it's just marginally the lowest graded coin on the list. It is also CAC certified, as notated by that little green hologram sticker on the slab. But this one right here sold for $28,800. Yeah, I'm going to take like a minute, or not even a minute, maybe 20, 30 seconds to discuss the public service announcement with these coins. These aren't coins that you're just going to routinely pop out of circulation, okay? That is going to be next to impossible to find a coin from the 1920s or 19 teens, full red, just absolutely stunning mint state condition. That's going to be tough. These are going to be like old collection pieces, you know, a collection that was handed down to you, or, you know, an old album or something that's been passed down to several generations. That's where a lot of these are going to be pulled out of, okay? And then finding some acceptable examples that doesn't have any sort of carbon spotting, that's going to be the huge caveat. These coins were subjected to a multitude of various atmospheric conditions. So the more moisture in the air, the more likely you're going to get some of these unsightly carbon spots. And yes, it does play a huge role in the valuation and grading of these coins. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next decade. We got a 1931 Lincoln cent. This one is huge. PCGS Mint State 67 Plus, full red, CAC certified. I've attempted to find the perfect raw 1931 Lincoln cent. I even sent one out for grading, and it came back as 66. It was oh so close. At the time, 67 was the highest grade. It was effectively an $8,000 to $9,000 coin. But this right here is the new gold standard. That plus designation on the numerical grade just kicks it up another notch. And because of that, this is a coin that sold for $9,000 this past week. Truly phenomenal example that'll end up in someone's collection later on down the line. All right, so we're going to skip the 40s altogether. Okay, there's a few notable coins on the list. You know, there's a few steel cents. I talk about those all the time. They are still wildly popular. There's a few of them that sold in that $3,000 to $4,000 range at the highest price level or grade level. But we're going to jump into to quite an amazing coin, and a not exactly rare on its face. It's a 1951D Lincoln Wheat cent. Yes, this is not a rare date by any means. Denver minted coins of the 50s are some of the highest minted coins of the entire series. So finding this one on the list was more than a little bit surprising, if not more of a distraction, because it kind of like sets off alarms with all the other coins. Like, whoa, wait a minute. A 51D that sold for $6,600 seems a little excessive, but it is a PCGS Mint State 68 red. Okay, this is a high grade. Probably never in my lifetime will I ever find a gem quite like this. This is a beautiful coin, and it should preserve a lot of its value for many years to come. So we have that one. we're going to talk about the most notable variety in all Lincoln Wheat Cent series, and that's going to be this 1955 doubled die obverse FS 101 Lincoln Wheat Cent. All right, this is the gold standard of doubled dies. It's the strongest, most powerful. It's got a great story back behind it. You know, a lot of these were discovered from a cigarette vending machine in New England, you know, back in '55. So, yeah, it was crazy. Okay, these coins were provided back to, you know, consumers as change. You know, back in the day, there was, you paid however much you paid for a pack of smokes, and the change would be cellophane wrapped to the pack of smokes. It is crazy. Okay, and a lot of them were this 55 double die offers. It's not a rare coin. A lot of these were produced. Okay, and this one right here is top of the curve, although it doesn't seem like it grade-wise. It is a PCGS Mid-State 64 Plus, full red, CAC certified, and this one, ladies and gentlemen, sold for $28,800. Okay, that's a lot of money, all right, but it's also a very beautiful coin. Not perfect, but perfectly priced for what you have here. And then coming up next, we have another key variety in modern Lincoln penny collecting. If we're talking about some of the most notable varieties in the Lincoln Memorial series, this one is more than likely top of the list. And it's the 1969S doubled die offers FS 101 Lincoln Memorial cent. This one is a PCGS Mint State 63 red. It is also CAC certified, and keep in mind the quality of this coin. This one has a couple of carbon spots on the reverse of the coin, as you see on this image capture, that usually would distract a lot of people from paying, you know, more than what it's worth. But we are talking about one of the rarest coins, varieties rather, in the Lincoln Cent series. This one right here is one of two coins of the same date, same variety that's sold at the Florida Fun Auction by Heritage. This one sold for the most amount of money at $40,800. It's also worth mentioning that there are three other examples that grade out finer than this 63. There are two 64s and one 66 that graded finer than this, and those are extremely expensive coins in the market. Again, you know, these coins very sought after. You know, they're expensive for a reason, and they rival the 55 in terms of just how dramatic and crazy the doubling is on these coins. And then finally, we're going to end this evening, this Monday market report for pennies, on another coin that we all strive to look for when we're roll hunting, when we're pocket change searching. You know, it's the same narrative. You hear me talk about it all the time. The 1992D Lincoln Memorial set that exhibits the what they call proof reverse close AM variant. This is the FS 901 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. This one is a PCGS Mid-State 66 red, so it's a really nice high-end example. This one sold for $8,413.20 by the time it was all said and done. Again, the close AM cents was designated to be a proof design. That's why, you know, there is some sort of change and discrepancy from one die to another. Okay, so obviously this is the one that you're going to have to look for and change. Okay, it's never going to change, obviously, no pun intended, but it's a chase piece among chase pieces, and finding one at this grade level is simply phenomenal. So that's going to wrap it up for what is probably the first leg of the market report for the week. I'll probably end up going back through, doing more research, looking at all of the Heritage Florida Fun sale stuff. You know, maybe I'll do another complimentary video that encapsulates nickels to dollars. All right, so you guys know where some of those ended out at. But just all the information provided from the pennies, we have a pretty nice market on our hands. Okay, a lot of these dollar figures are very robust. Lincoln pennies, again, are just, it never ceases to amaze how popular Lincoln cents are, and it's just going to continue on. Eventually, a lot of these pieces are going to slowly dwindle away at the highest level. And, the more people that come into collecting these, it's just going to be that's the supply and demand factor in collecting, okay, especially these high end early teens and 20s coins. We're going to see less and less of these pop up in the marketplace. So, what do you guys think about the Monday Market Report? There's a lot of stunning examples. Again, Heritage Auctions is who hosted this whole entire Florida Fund session. It was a lot of fun, and it was great to document a lot of the coins that came across. Okay, we're going to see a lot more great stuff here shortly, from nickels to dollars. I will bring you that here real soon, hopefully sometime this week. I want to thank you guys again for joining in for what is a fun little auction report. We're going to go back to the regularly scheduled Monday Market Report a week from today, where we look at eBay and great collections and all the other great auction sites. But this one right here, this is a big one every year. And again, I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for instant notifications. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care. Have a great Monday. Don't work so hard. And I will see you on the next hunt.